Hey everybody, welcome to another Liam Looks At, and finally we are taking a look at God of War from 2005. This is one of those games that I had always heard of and never played before. Of course, I've played the new ones, the 2018 Ragnarok. I have my review for Ragnarok up on this channel. For this year, I decided to try to stream more at Twitch TV, Liam the Liam. Check it out. And one of the first games I wanted to try was God of War, because I'd played the new ones and I thought, okay, here's a perfect opportunity for me to try and play the original. And for the first couple nights of streaming it, I streamed it in like 4 chunks. The first 2 nights, 2 or 3 nights. This game was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the story. The story is about Kratos. It is kind of a mystery. It starts off with him hurling himself off of a cliff, and slowly it kind of gives his backstory. I think there's a great moment in the beginning of the game where you see Ares in the background, and you're looking at him destroying this town. And I think it's the only time that I've ever played a game where you see the main villain just so early on in the game, and it's so daunting, and then it's like, this is what you're gonna fight. It's a great moment. It's really clever in the way that it shows kind of what your goal is, and then you kind of go on your adventure, but you always remember seeing how big and destructive he was, knowing that that's eventually where you're going to end up. But yeah, the beginning of the game is really great, and honestly, the game itself is really great. There's a lot of fun. I think the combat, the combat in the new game is, while it looks super flashy and you could say it's similar to Dark Souls or whatever, I think that this combat may have been more satisfying. Obviously, I was playing it by streaming it from the PlayStation Now app. I feel like I lost definitely some of the input latency and that kind of stuff, so it didn't feel as good as I would hope. But that being said, it was very satisfying combat, and the combos were great, and leveling up your character was great. There are a lot of positives to this game, but I would say the biggest negative would definitely be the difficulty that this game takes on at the tail end. And if you don't know what I mean, here, take a little look at my reaction to some stuff. I go to the bathroom. That's right, I'm a big baby. But in all seriousness, this game does have a few moments that seem just unfair. And while I understand that that is an older game, and this is how they kind of lengthened games by making them hard, I think that there's just so many parts of this game that are just frustrating, unbelievably frustrating. And it's like right at the end. It's right at the very end where there seems to be back to back moments that are make you want to tear your hair out. And of course I did it all in one final sitting, so no breaks or anything. But there's obviously the infamous tower, which is god awful, but there's also this room that just never ends. And I was playing on the normal difficulty, and I'm not going to sit here and have a discussion of difficulty. I mean, I love difficult games. I mean, in my God of War Ragnarok review, I said I played it on the second hardest difficulty. I love Dark Souls games and all this stuff. So I'm not someone who, is against difficulty or even feels that every game should have a difficulty setting. But if you're going to have a difficulty setting in the game, it should reflect that, it should reflect what you choose. And I chose just normal. And throughout my gameplay, it kept asking, do you want to tone it down? It's like, no, I don't want to tone it down. And especially because the combat itself wasn't awful. It wasn't that hard. It was everything else, the puzzles. And the toning down the difficulty is not going to change the puzzle. But, I could complain all day. I think this game is great. Now, do I recommend it? Yes and no. I recommend it if you're looking for, if you want a challenge, then absolutely. But I will say, it is hard to recommend this game to somebody who just wants to experience the God of War story, but doesn't want. But if you're not great with platformers and stuff, it's a hard recommendation. It's a tough game, but if you stick with it and you see it through, it's definitely worth it. And the story is really enjoyable, especially as it goes on. It reveals more. But that's gonna be my review. I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know if I recommend it to everybody, but it's definitely a classic game, and it deserves its place in the history of gaming. It's one of those games that are a product of their time. So just be aware of that when going in. I'm gonna have a lot more reviews here coming out. I have games that I have completed, so be on the lookout for reviews. I finally moved my area to a little more secluded spot, so during the week I can kind of make videos. But yeah, thanks for checking this out. Hope to see you guys on Twitch. And if anybody has any ideas for games that they want to see me complete, please comment down below. Thanks, everybody. I'll check you in the next one.